Hello, you. Okay, now what we're going to do today is a run through of Final Fantasy IX. Now this is going to be extended over a period of time. I'm going to just do maybe the first few segments here. I don't know how it's going to work out, but let's get going and start this bad boy up. Annoyingly, because of the recording equipment, the entire sound on this game seems to have a glitch techno remix boogie for super fun happy times. But that's just something you're going to have to put up with, I'm afraid. The game opens and we see some chicks getting some serious air off some waves. Truly, these people are marvels of the aquatic nature. But it's all a dream, so it's not really that impressive. The actual story of the game involves a group of gay male prostitutes turned actors who ride on a giant airship. The goal of their visit to this city, under the guise of a play, is to kidnap the princess, transform her through complicated surgeries into a man, so she becomes a man who is attracted by men of a high nature. It's pretty much doomed to be failure, to be honest, as they haven't really thought it through. So here's our main protagonist, monkey boy / star prostitute of the SS Big Gay Al's floating brothel. Just to fuck things up, let's call him Titwank. So you're joined by a few more of the crew of the airship Scandalous, and before you can even discuss the latest rounds of chlamydia, you're attacked by some pillock in a mask. As soon as the battle begins, I notice one of my teammates is called Sinner, which kind of reminds me of Cinnamon, and Cinnamon's quite a bland taste, so I figure that's grounds enough to brutally murder him every time I see him. But one of the crew called Marcus, who has a drinking problem, just goes absolutely fucking apeshit and splits that thing's head open. And who does it reveal but pig-faced Father Christmas, the pimp of the ship. So they have a quick run through of a kidnap. Sinner tries to take charge and produces an airship out of his infinitely deep butt crack. The seething hate of a group towards Sinner means they just blank him, and he sinks into a void of self-despair. But he deserves it. But down in the street, a dark figure's lurking. This man is deranged psychotic. Those who have crossed him would say that they wish they hadn't crossed him. This man has come to this town to slit every throat he possibly can. His biggest desire is to kill everyone on board the airship. This man is, simply put, absolutely fucking bonkers. This, my friends, is a tale of love, a tale of sadistic murders, and a tale of really annoying underground sections, and also some tight leather clothes. My friends, this is Final Fantasy IX. Insert Disc 2. So straight away we're thrown into control of our Vietnam War vet psychopath. He has a tendency to just duck for cover when he has post-traumatic stress syndrome, so you've just got to excuse that. These people don't know the force they reckon with. This man is literally wearing the Sorting Hat's arse as his hat. I know the Sorting Hat is actually a hat anyway, but still, fuck. So I approach the ticket master, and after getting some information on the people I plan to brutally slaughter, I decide to show him my ticket. But what's this? It turns out my ticket was a fake. To try and impress my way in, I decided to try and play the head piano. But it doesn't work. So a little rat boy appears and decides that he's going to come over to me and have the cheek to ask of me a favour. Then he reveals to me that he can get me into the theatre show, and I decide that I can use this guy both to get into the theatre show and to wear as a trendy hat. Seeing him steal a ladder, I decide that that is an absolutely stupid crime. So I do the inverse butt mug and steal 50 gil off that guy by clenching it firmly in my buttocks. Yeah, you better run, you don't know what hit you. So the rat boy steals the ladder and completely fails to see the irony of using a ladder to steal a ladder. This man we're controlling is so unsettled. Merely walking across the roofs he has to get a homicide in somewhere, and just boots the shit out of his plank of wood, probably killing an orphan down below. The kid decides he's going to ask me my name, so I decide this is a good time to warn him and call myself something appropriate. Apparently he hasn't heard of Charles Manson though, and he just says it's a funny name and walks away. Surely this rat will make a fine waistcoat. Grr! Jesus Christ, I forgot. Apparently the Joker really let himself go, and he's ruling over his kingdom now in his retirement. So now we meet the incredibly fruity first of command over the princess. I mean, seriously, check the amount of eyeliner this guy's sporting. Of course, he's pretty happy because he's at the theatre. Manson's brain starts shooting off at the sight of fire and looks at a rat boy, imagining the pair of slippers he would so finely make. Big fat Queen Ledger shakes her bingo wings, which is the universal sign of let's get this shit going. So the play begins, and Marcus is such a good actor that he draws his sword twice, once already and again. That's some quality acting. Also, rather disturbingly, this guy appears to have a Union Jack on his shirt. Overthrow the oppressors, limey sons of a bitches. While all the extras know exactly what they're doing and they're only using cheap pyrotechnics which actually don't harm anyone, Blank just goes crazy and just slits one of their throats open. So Henry VIII escapes, and at the mere mention of a man marrying a woman, Titwank and Blank decide they're going to have a giant penis extension fight in front of a crowd. The most interesting thing about this fight, of course, is in the knowledge that Manson, somewhere, is slaughtering a noble, her teeth shattering along the stone walls, like rain on a tin roof. So Titwank and Blank, after having their way with two of the guardsmen, decide that they're going to try and find the princess, and they find a mysterious hooded girl. Now, who could this be? It only turns out it's the princess. And anyway, the first people to notice they're gone are two little jesters who apparently take after Yoda. The Queen calls over her head of commands, and apparently the captain is such a loser she can't even remember his name. Because he's a little bit fruity, I think I'm going to call him Fabulous. So Captain Fabulous's aim is to try and find the princess, so he heads off. So Captain Fabulous runs up the turret just in time to see the princess being chased by a ruffian. And this is where you see the second most ridiculous thing you'll ever see. The first ridiculous thing you'll ever see, of course, being Master Chief surfing that bomb at the start of Halo 2. The chick grabs a cable, and without looking to see where it's fully connected to, how long it is, or how strong it is, does some crazy backflip off the top of the turret. This chick is off her rocker. Well, excusing the fact that it's obviously thinner than her little finger and she won't be able to hold on to it, and the fact that it would have to be tied somewhere extremely high so that she would swing and not just smack into the crowd. And if that's the case, then why the hell is the ship connected to the castle by a ribbon? Anyway, Titwank also is a bit crazy and does exactly the same thing. Captain Fabulous, after being completely shocked when the princess does it, decides that him doing it, with his enormous build and massive heavy armour, is completely not ridiculous and just tries it. Everyone is out of their fucking tree in this game. So you meet up with the princess and it turns out that she actually wants to be kidnapped. So naturally you kidnap her. She doesn't mention about wanting to be changed into a man, but Titwank carefully excludes that point. Captain Fabulous starts catching back up with you, but he's nice enough to knock several times before bursting into the room to try and find the princess. So Titwank, absolutely mental bitch, and Sinner are all trapped in a little room. Bad times. But what's this? Sinner built a secret passage. Ah, Sinner, maybe you're not so bad after all. Anyway, Captain Fabulous catches back up with you and you have to fight him. There's a bug in my hair, get it off, get it off. So Sinner tells Titwank to get up number 2. I'm sure he wouldn't need to be invited. But it turns out number 2 goes right up to the stage and they interrupt the play. So they improvise, the princess gets stabbed through the heart, Captain Fabulous lives up to his name and starts crying a river over the side. Unfortunately for Manson, it's at this point when the police find the bodies. All the clapping reminds him of machine gun fire, so he ducks for cover and loses Rat Boy. Sadly, those fur breeches will never be made. Manson, being a deranged pyromaniac, decides the best way to evade the police is to set fire to a young girl's head. Once the deed is done, he scarpers, but he falls over trying to take cover, and they ask him what's wrong, and he just tells them he tripped, and they buy it. Completely unaware of a 3-foot typhoon they've just taken into their ranks, they let Manson fight alongside them. So Captain Oink Oink decides this is the best time to cheese it and starts the ship up. And it's about this time the Joker gets suspicious. So she deploys her secret weapon. She apparently has about 8 giant anchors for the sole purpose of catching a theatre ship trying to escape. Now, how often can this occur? Surely those things cost a lot of money. They're pretty big, and they're all ready to be instantly deployed. But not only that, not only does she have 12 giant space anchors to catch the theatre ship, but she also has a secret weapon. Some absolutely ridiculous nuclear bomb fireball thing, completely forgetting that the princess and her first of command is on the ship, blows the shit out of it. And not only that, she does the Robo Boogie. I swear, everyone in this game is one sandwich short of a picnic. Surely there are no survivors. Oh, come on! At least the princess is missing, so at least some damage was done. You know, it could be worse. She could be stuck with... Oh, God! Manson lures the princess with his cunning, wily ways into a trap. Titwank is all what can save her now.
To be continued.